We're back again with another Swift coding tutorial. This is another security related topic. And in this video, I'm going to show you how fintechs, banks, and crypto wallets securely encrypt and store sensitive information. And as always, I have a demo for you ready. Okay, imagine I have a fintech app. And in this app, you could apply for a credit card, a virtual one, and then you can view it, and the card is hidden behind the Face ID. Now this card information over here is going to be stored on the device as an encrypted blob. And this is how that works exactly. When your app first launches, the device is going to generate a private key that stays on the device and sends over a public key that's going to sit in your server. Now the public key is used to encrypt stuff. So when your phone requests a credit card from the server encrypts it using the public key that it got from you before it sends it over to your app. And when it sends it over to your app, your app is going to store that card number as an encrypted blob in Keychain. And Keychain is locked behind Face ID. You can't access Keychain without biometrics. And things in the Keychain are already encrypted at rest, so this is double encryption we're talking about here. To actually view the card number, you scan your face using Face ID, and then that opens up the Keychain, and then the app will get the encrypted blob from the Keychain, and then use the private key that sits on the device to decrypt that encrypted blob and display the card information for you. This is ultra paranoid setup over here. It can't get more secure than this. Now, enough yapping, and let's go straight to the code. This is Xcode, but over here I have a new app. Well, not really new. It's the same app, but without the security stuff. The card information are just displayed as a dummy like this, and we're gonna make this app request an actual card number from the server and then encrypt it and start encrypted, and only reveal it after Face ID is successful. Okay, so to do that, when the app first launches and this view first appears, the content view, over here on appear, I'm gonna run a method that checks if the user has a private key, and if they don't, then it's gonna create a new one. And we're gonna need to create a class that's gonna handle the creation of the private key and all of that stuff. So here, creating a file, I'm gonna call it secure enclave key manager, and I'm gonna use these imports in it, and this will be my class. And inside the class, I need to create a shared instance, and I need to create 3 tags, 3 identifiers. One for the private key that we're gonna create and stays on the device, one for the device ID, and one for the encrypted blob that's going to be stored in the keychain, and then initialize the class. Okay, let's start with the helpers first. Here, let's create a separate extension for the helpers. Let me zoom in a bit just so you can see. And here we're going to work on 3 methods. One that loads the private key if we have it. This will look like this. What it does is that it creates this query, and this query is just is a string any type, and here it uses the private key tag, the one up here that we created, to look up if this device already have a private key. So this just checks if there is one and then return it. Okay, that's the first helper we need. Here we also need to create another one. We need to create a method that exports the public key data, meaning that it converts it from this type, sec key, to a data type. And this will look like this. Takes in the key, returns data, and this will look like this. And then we need to now we need to create something that gets or creates a device ID. And this will look like this. First, it will check if there's an already existing device ID, and it's going to create a query like that for this, and then it's going to return the device ID if we have one like this. If not, we're going to instead do an add query that looks like this using the device ID key tag that we created up above. We create that device ID, and then we add it into the keychain and we return it. Okay, now enough with the helpers for now, and now let's create the practical stuff. I'm gonna start with creating this method that's gonna get called as soon as the app is launched. Generate key pair and base 64. What's gonna do is that it's gonna check if there's a private key, and if there is, it's gonna get it. If not, then it's gonna proceed with the code. And this uses the methods that we just created now. So what it does is that it loads the private key, it looks for it, and then if it gets it, and then it converts it to data type from sec key type, and then it encodes into base 64. And then it gets the device ID, because then if we have one and we have a device ID, then we're going to store both in our server. That's this step over here. So now we're going to need to create this method. Let's just put this method over here on hold and create the method that takes in the public key and store it in the server. Let's put it down here. So this is going to take the device ID and the base 64 encoded public key. I'm going to print both to show you what they look like later. This is the body of the request, and we convert it to JSON. The request URL, which we will work on in a bit, method and headers and the body, and then we send the request. Okay, this is sending to backend. We're going to work on this in a bit, but first let's complete the method up here. This is if we have an existing private key. But if you don't have an existing private key, we need to create it down here. So let's go ahead and create it. We put together the private key attribute. We say permanent, and we say that's gonna use this tag over here to identify it in the device storage. And you put together the parameters. This is the key type, this is the size, and the attributes we get from here. And this is how we create the private key. And after we create it, we get the public key that we need to send to the server and turn that public key into data format. And then we encode the public key as base64, just like we did above. And we always get the device ID along with the public key. And we also send to backend to save them in our server and return a response. And now, since I implemented the send to backend method, let's just uncomment this, and this method should be complete. So far so good, but now we need to actually work in that method in our server that stores the public key and the device ID in our server. So this is my server. These are the dependencies that I'm gonna need: crypto, of course, and I use Firebase for my database, so that's why this is here. Could be different for you. And I'm gonna code my method that's gonna store the private key the public key and the device ID in my server here. Let's go ahead and work on that. We're gonna get the base64 encoded public key from the device and the device ID. And all we're gonna do is just store both in our database like this. That's it. Now let's go ahead and test this. This is the first step, creating the private key and storing the public key. Okay, now back to the Xcode here. There's one method that we need to implement in order for all of this to work. We need to create a method that gets or creates the public key. Let's put this here, and it's gonna look like this. It's just gonna return a string so we can print it out. This method is just a big if statement. It looks like this. Get the private key. If you already have one, just derive the public key from it. And call this just to ensure that there's a device ID created for this device, just to be safe. And then we return the public key as base64. If not, then we're gonna call the method that we just implemented, generate key pair and base64 here. Okay, that's what we need to run this. Now here in content view, on appear, we'll call that. And now we're good to test this. The result we should expect is that we should see the public key and the device ID printed here. And in our database, we should see them stored. So let's go ahead and run that. Here is our app, and here's our public key encoded as base64, and here's the device and here's the device ID. In our database, we can see that both were stored. Now for the next step, we need to create an endpoint that creates the card details on the server and then encrypt it and then send it to the iPhone encrypted. And we're gonna implement that here in this method, issue card. This is where most of the action happens in the server side. So for this, we're not gonna get anything from the client side, but we're gonna get the public key and the device ID from the database like this. And then over here, we'll open a big try catch. We get our public key again. This is an example credit card information that we're gonna return back to the iPhone. But first we gotta encrypt it. And to encrypt it, we need to create a method that does the encryption. Let's go ahead down here and encrypt and work on that. So this is the method that's gonna take the base64 public key that we're gonna use for encryption, and then we're gonna encrypt the payload that it also receives here. Okay, now what this is gonna do is that it's gonna use the device public key to generate an ephemeral AC key pair, and then it's gonna convert the ACDH to shared secret. This is just cryptography stuff that I barely understand too. And then we'll derive EES from the shared secret, and then we'll encrypt the JSON payload using EES GCM, and it will send the ciphertext IV and the auth tag and the from public key back to the device, and the device will store that or decrypt it. So this is how we do this. We convert the public key back to data. We create the shared secret. We get ACDH, generates keys from that, get the ephemeral public key, create the shared secret, create the AES key. Now we need to implement this. This is another story. We need to derive the AES from the shared public secret that we created. So we're gonna create a method that takes in the shared secret and convert it to AES key like this. This is also, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is also beyond me. And I won't be able to explain this part. I'm like all of you coders. I just find stuff online and then I put it together and then it works, and I don't get how it works exactly. This is the IV, this is the cipher. This is how we create the ciphertext and the auth tag. And then we're gonna take all of that and then we're gonna return it to the client side like this. This is the payload that we return to the client side. So after we code all of this, y'all can just pause the video and take a screenshot of this if you want. We go back here and we use that method to create the encrypted payload and then return it back to the client side like this. Okay, this is done. Let's go ahead and return it to the client side. Now we need to use that back here on the app. Here I have a method that says on apply for virtual card. This is where we're gonna call that API. So when we call this method, we need to call that API, and then that API is gonna return the encrypted blob. We need to store it in Keychain. So this is what our API request will look like. This is the URL, this is the method, and we will have no payload. And then we're gonna send the API request like this, and then we're gonna handle our errors and then get the encrypted payload like this. And we need to create a struct that defines the encrypted payload. So let's go ahead and do that. Go down here and create that. And while you're down here, also create a payload that's gonna store the encrypted card information. Go ahead and create a struct for the encrypted card information that looks like this. Now let's go back up here. Make sure to I'm gonna make sure the API fires like this. And then now we need to work on this, store encrypted payload in keychain. After we receive it, we need to store it. And then we indicate to the app that this user has a card. And then now that button is gonna change from apply to view the virtual card. Let's go ahead and implement that method here. Now this is gonna store this in the same way we stored the device ID and the private key. In a similar way, I start just to be safe by deleting anything that's already stored, and then I'll add it, same way we did before. But here, I add a special attribute that this can only be unlocked after when the device is unlocked, typically through Face ID. And then we add it like this, just like we did with the other stuff. Okay, that's that. Error is gone. Now let's go ahead and try this out, test this method. Okay, so here when I click on apply to virtual card, it changes to view virtual card. And now let's switch back to Xcode. Here in Xcode, you can see that it says encrypted payload stored in keychain successfully, and that includes the storage part. Now for the fun part. On Xcode side, we're gonna work on the decryption. Okay, now for the decryption, first thing, we need to change some things in our virtual card screen struct, which displays, this is the struct that displays the dummy card that you guys saw earlier in the demo at the beginning of the video. And in this one, we need to add some variables that's going to replace the dummy card information. So I'm talking about the card number, expiry month, year, and the other stuff over here. First, you're going to add that. In addition to that, we need to add one helper that formats the card number. I'm gonna add it over here. Just make sure that the card number looks like this, 4444. Okay, now here in this, we have a method here called onSuccessful unlock, and that's where we're gonna retrieve the encrypted card information and display it. So before we code this, we actually need to go back to the secure enclave key manager class again, and we need to add the decryption stuff in here. Right now, we only have encryption and storage stuff here. So let's create a new extension just for the decryption stuff. Now here, first thing, we need to create a method that loads the encrypted blob from storage, from keychain, and this will look like this. We're gonna do the same thing that we did when we retrieved the device ID and the private key, which is a query. Use the tag that we defined over here to find the encrypted blob, and this is how we get it. Now here we need to define this struct, decrypt error. We're gonna need this later also. I'm gonna just put this here at the bottom of the code. Now this loads the encrypted data. Now we need the thing that decrypts the encrypted blob using the private key. So let's go ahead and do that. Add this into the code. This will get it and then return it as the card payload struct, which we defined earlier over here. So first up here is you're gonna load the private key, just like you did always before. Then you use the method that we just defined to load the encrypted payload from the keychain. Then you're gonna need to decode it, and you're gonna decode it into the IV, the cipher, and the plain text that you saw earlier when we were here. Because when you load it and you decode it into JSON, it will look like this. You're gonna get this stuff. So now you need to use those to decode and get the card data. To do that, you're gonna first decode all the base64 components like this. You're gonna convert them all into data from base64 because everything is base64. Then you're gonna need to rebuild the ephemeral key public key object like this. You basically take that data buffer and then you create sec key again. And this is the rest of how you do that. This is the method that creates the sec key. And then you derive the shared secret. Here you need to use the raw value. And here you build the key data. And then you use it as an AES-256 key. Then you can start the decryption now. To do AES GCM decryption, that will look like this. And then once you get the decrypted data, you're gonna get the decrypted data as data. And then you're gonna need to convert it to JSON. And then from JSON, you're gonna need to convert it to the card payload struct. And then you gotta return it to your view. That is a lot of decryption and cryptography code, but this is how to do it. Okay, now back here we go back to unsuccessful unlock. And here's where we're gonna be using what we just built. So open up a do and catch, handle the error. And now you can use that method that we just built. It's gonna turn a card object, which is of this type, card payload struct, and then you're gonna assign it to the variables over here that you created, these ones. And then after you do that, you're gonna just unlock the view. Okay, cool. Now we actually need to use these because we're not using them right now. We're using the dummy value. So we go over here and we replace the dummy text with the formatted card number. We do the same thing with the expiry and the CVV and the name. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much all of it. Let me check. Let me double check if I haven't missed anything. Oh, one last thing. So here we need to create another extension for resetting the demo. Basically, in order to test this again and again, I just need to have this code here. One to delete the private key and one to delete the device ID. This will help me reset the app clean in order to be able to test again and again and again. This is the delete secure key, delete private key method, and this is the delete device ID method. Oh, and I forgot to add a button at the bottom of this view to reset the demo and delete everything, basically to use what we just implemented. This will be here. This will be used this method, reset all security data for testing. And now let's run this, try again. So I'll start by resetting the demo. Here in the console, you can see that it says everything deleted. I'm gonna rerun the app. There we go. Now, upon rerunning the app, you can see that the private key and public key is getting created here in the console. And also, the matching keys are in the database. And when I hit apply virtual card, here in the console, it says it's created and stored in the keychain. And here in the app, the button changed to view my virtual card from apply for a virtual card. And when I click on it, I get Face ID, it scans, and I get my card details now. And here in the console, I can see that this says here that the private key supports ACDHD, and then the virtual card unlocked successfully. And that's it. And that's all. That's all for today. This is how we encrypt things using private keys generated from your app and store it as an encrypted blob on Keychain, unlock it behind the Face ID. Super secure way if you have an app that stores secrets like card information or crypto wallet keys or whatever, and you need a bulletproof way to store those secrets. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe for more content like this. And if you want to get the full source code video that we used for this, you can check my Patreon link in the description box below. In there, you can support the channel, and we give out all the source codes that are used in all the videos as a thank you to our supporters. All right, that's all for today. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.